Otis, is that after the fight in Dunedin, is a performance like that even harder to stomach?
Yeah, it's disappointing. I thought, once you've got rid of all the excuses of Dunedin, the 3 days to prepare and all that sort of stuff after the first two innings, and then you fight your way back into the game the way we did, taking it into the fifth day. And then obviously the weather intervened and you walk away with a draw, having been on the back foot the whole time. You think you come here and you expect something better, so it is disappointing the way that it turned out. I guess that's cricket. You got to give full credit to New Zealand the way they've played. They've exploited the conditions. They've got bowlers, especially that are using the conditions far better than we are. And a batsman that's in great form. Ross has got a double 100 on 100 in 2 test matches, and when you look at differences, those are the differences at the moment.
Were your batsmen exposed technically or mentally, or a combination of the two things, do you think?
We faced swing bowling before. Last time we went to England, we faced swing bowling. Some of us got undone a little bit. Marlon had a great series in England. But this is high quality swing bowling at good pace, and we haven't been able to deal with it in this game, and we just got to get ourselves ready. We came here today, we try and get some practice in, get ourselves ready for Hamilton. Hamilton is obviously a crucial game for us in trying to save the series.
What was said sort of after the game when the changing rooms yesterday? Was there a message you specifically delivered to the players?
No, just embarrassed was mentioned. Lack of fight was mentioned, and those are things that you don't really want to be hearing too often in your dressing room. We haven't heard those things too often in our dressing room recently. We've played some pretty good cricket recently. India was tough for us, and we've come here and we're making it tough. New Zealand are playing very well, but we're not standing up to what they're offering, and that's the disappointing thing. So it's a question of guys, backing their ability for sure, and having pride in themselves and in the brand, the West Indies brand, and going out and showing better, and I know that we can do it because we've done it before. So it's just a case of getting up to Hamilton and getting stuck into some solid preparation, seeing what the pitch is going to look like for the test match, and getting ourselves ready both physically and mentally, and as was mentioned also technically, organising our techniques. We've seen the bowlers over the last 2 weeks, and I don't think they're quality bowlers in these conditions. These are the same bowlers we faced in the West Indies 12 months ago, and we won 3-0 there, so the way international cricket is at the moment, when you go away from home, it's always a battle. It was mentioned to the guys before we got here, the way New Zealand played against England last time they came out here. England were, I suppose, the number 1 or number 2 team in the world at that time, and New Zealand gave them a great fight and probably should have won that series, so we knew it was going to be tough. And we're just at the moment not showing the application that is going to be needed to battle with New Zealand, and we have to in Hamilton. It's obvious.
How keen are you to play 2 spinners in Hamilton?
Look, everything depends on conditions. I think, looking at New Zealand, if I were in their camp, the wicket would probably be another green seamer, and that always, in a way, nullify the 2 seam or the 2 spin option. The pitches haven't spun. New Zealand's spinner bowled probably 3 overs in the last test match, in this test match here. So. They've got 3 seam bowlers that are swinging it, bowling good areas and causing us problems. So I don't see why they would change the format that they've used so far. For us, it is whether we decide to play 2 or not. We could have done it here, but we thought about the conditions and we said we've got to give our seamers the best option. We're not using those options very well at the moment, and so it's a consideration. It's certainly a consideration, but we just have to look at what we think is the best the best format to go and win the test match and draw the series.
Have you heard anything about the report from Shillingford?
Not as yet, no.
Are you expecting he'll be?
Well, at some point, yeah, I expect him to be cleared. There's a group of people around the world bowling with similar, if not worse, bowling actions, so I expect him to be cleared for sure.
As a former seam bowler yourself and an international bowling coach, is it particularly frustrating when you see conditions that you've had in these, certainly here, wasted by your faster bowlers?
Look, it is. I mean, anytime you see a wicket with grass on, like the way we've seen in the last two games, especially this one, because the ball swung also. In Dunedin, it didn't swing much, and not for very long for either team. But in conditions like this, of course, you expect better from your bowling attack. When you win the toss and put the opposition in on a green seamer, you don't expect them to make 441, and that's a little bit disappointing. The guys are trying hard. And what it's teaching us is a certain set of skills that we have to acquire that we haven't nailed down yet. Swinging the ball in the Caribbean, the ball swings for 2 overs, and on the dry pitches in the Caribbean, it swings for 2 overs, and then you have to. Your skill is trying to make it move off the surface. In New Zealand on a green seamer, it swings for much longer. And it's evident from what you're seeing on the TV that we're not getting the ball to swing much. Darren Sammy's swinging it a little bit, but apart from him, nobody's really getting it to swing, and that's our challenge.
Wait, an adjustment of length thing?
Certainly, I think we've bowled. Our bowlers are probably a little bit quicker than theirs, and we've bowled a little bit short. But if it's not swinging, you can't pitch it up too close to good quality batsmen like Ross Taylor either. So it is finding the right length on the pitch. We find it sometimes 3 balls out of 6, and then look, we've been inconsistent. We've been inconsistent in everything that we've done as a bowling group. We haven't stuck to our plans long enough as a batting group. We're not riding out the good periods. Sometimes New Zealand are on top, the ball's swinging a bit, and all it requires is a little bit of application and somebody to dig in and bat out that tough period, that tough spell from whether it is Bolt swinging it or Southie swinging it. Ride out that tough period and understand that after that, it's going to get a little bit easier, and we talk about getting the bowlers into the second and third spells and then capitalizing, but we're losing wickets often in the first spell of every bowler. We're losing wickets, and that's a challenge.
Can you actually get them to change their you said about a skill set, can you get them to change that in the little time that you've got left?
Well, it's a work in progress. It's a constant work to try and get people thinking clearly under pressure and understanding that you need to be a little bit fuller on this pitch. You need to be when the ball is certainly new, you need to be a little bit fuller. As it gets softer, you might have to adjust your length and whatever. And constant communication between myself, the bowlers, the captain, as to what he wants on the field, and we know that the guys can deliver it because they've done it before for us. It's just getting them to do it consistently, and that's the key word for the whole series has been consistent or inconsistent, or whichever way you look at it.
And when an attack perhaps doesn't make that many chances, you have to hold the catches.
Of course, and the thing about a plan is the plan is only good if it's executed well, and then the catch is taken at the end, and we had a plan, and the plan worked, and then the catch went down. So then you got to try and start the process all over again, and then the batsman becomes aware of the plan, and it's no longer a plan because he's prepared for it. And we dropped Ross on naught, and he scored 129, and he's a quality player, so he's not likely to give you 2 or 3 chances in an innings. And that's the thing at the moment is sometimes when things are going wrong, everything goes wrong at the same time, and when things are going well, everything goes well together. So, but we've always been a nation of fighters. Our backs are against the wall here, and we just have to ride it out. We just have to know that it's only us in the dressing room can change our situation, and I believe in the guys we have in the dressing room. Yes, we haven't played to the potential of the team at the moment, but I believe that we can get a positive result in Hamilton and level the series. Looking at, like I said before, how New Zealand played against England, and not just England, but a couple of other teams that have come here in the past and struggled. If we walk away from here with a draw, a level series means that I think it's an accomplishment, you know, and not because New Zealand are number 8 in the world. I think that you have the top 4 teams that are pretty much way ahead of everybody else, and then at the back end there where you got us, New Zealand, Pakistan, and those teams. I don't think anybody's any better than anybody in the bottom half. So when you go away from home, you expect it to be tough, like it is now, and we just have to man up and face up to the challenges that New Zealand are presenting to us.
Are you going to stick with the same pace bowlers in Hamilton, or are you?
We don't know yet. We'll see what the pitch is like. We'll see what the pitch is like when we get there.
Just looking ahead to the one-day series, you named your squad yesterday, and your scales, and then could you just tell us what the nature of his injury is? Because it seemed like he would be fit in time.
Well, we were hoping that he was going to be fit in time. He obviously did a hamstring injury in India. You know, he's back home being looked after by our medical team at home, and they've sent a report that said that they don't believe that he's going to be fit enough for the 1 days. So, you know, we have to pick somebody else and move on. He's going to be a big loss, obviously, because he's a key man for us. But, you know, we have to move on, and we hope that he gets fully fit as soon as possible. Obviously, after this series, we have England coming to the Caribbean, and then the T20 World Cup, you know, which we are world champions. So, and he's a crucial part of our T20 World Cup team. So we hope that we give him as much time as he needs to get fully fit, and he can take a full part in hopefully the England series and then the T20 World Cup as well.
Okay, so he wouldn't come out for the 2 T20s at the end of this tour?
I don't know yet. Well, that's a medical situation. We'll just have to wait and see how it goes.